Peace, peace, 305 Capricorn. Peace, peace. JG, peace, peace. What up, Duma? Peace. Wacky J, 2012. What's good? What up, Chaotic Scott? Good to see you. What up, Jay the Titan? What up, what up? Just waiting for a few more people to come in. But while we're waiting, we'll just go over a few things. For those who signed up and are currently taking the necromancy training class, you can text me. Well, sorry, if you don't have my phone number, you can't text, but you can email me, darkcultist99@outlook.com. You can email me with any questions regarding the necromancy training class, the exercises you're currently doing, things of that nature. So keep in mind, if you are currently in that necromancy training class, now's the time to start emailing any questions you have, any things that came up during your exercises, and let me know the best times to have a private discussion on either Skype or Google Hangouts, Duel, whatever it's called nowadays, so that we can get in more detail with the necromancy training. For this evening, this lecture or live discussion is about you being the demon or Daemon. The topic was chosen because I feel that in a lot of our occult journey, especially on the left-hand path of the occult, we tend to externalize a lot of things. For example, we tend to externalize archetypes, gods, goddesses. A lot of times we end up in external worship or external workings. But the ultimate goal on the left-hand path is self-deification, becoming the master over self. Whether you want to call it a god, a titan, whatever floats your boat, it's becoming a master over yourself. And to do that, we cannot externalize on a continuous basis, because what will happen is eventually we're going to get trapped in the external working, even though we say we're just using the archetype as a symbol to tap into our subconscious mind. If we still have not broken the programming of religious indoctrination from our childhood, then eventually what ends up happening is you will eventually swerve into still doing a worship kind of ritual, or still externalizing or separating yourself from the God self and then the external deity or external archetype that you may be using in a ritual. Remember, on the left-hand path, we do not worship anything external. We are the only God to ourselves. We are the only God that is. That does not mean that you cannot use any archetype you want, whether it's from a movie like Thanos, or whether it's the Sith from the Star Wars saga, or utilizing any one of these ancient archetypes from different cultural backgrounds and spiritual systems. The point of using the archetype is to become or embody what that archetype represents. In other words, as y'all see Kali back here, because it's one of the main archetypes that I've worked with for years, you can utilize the symbolism of Kali to tap into your subconscious mind, therefore using the destructive, chaotic energy that is associated with Kali to confront and face your personal issues, whether it's trauma, whether it's insecurities, whether it's doubt, whether it's fear, whether it's lack of confidence, whatever the case is, that kind of archetype is best suited to overcome blockages and obstacles within your subconscious mind. Peace, Andre. Your subconscious mind is a reservoir that is basically logging all of these activities from childhood to today and creating a pattern that plays itself back. So let's say I utilize Kali and I have an issue of self-doubt. I doubt myself all the time. I think I can reach greater heights, but then I doubt myself, bring myself to lower heights, okay? Or less than a height. I will then utilize the symbolism of Kali, two-edged sword, symbolic of slicing, cutting my insecurities, doubts, fears, weaknesses, or any other trauma that's there. I can utilize that two-edged sword to confront and chop off the head of my own fears, of my own bullshit that's been sitting there for years. Now, on a side note, please do not expect to overcome something from one ritual. It's impossible. Depending on your lifespan, meaning if you're in the 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever the case may be, depending on your lifespan, that's 20, 30, 40, or 50, 60 years worth of crap that is sitting in your subconscious mind. And that you have to go into and basically reprogram and decondition and redo what is there, putting in what you want to put in there, not what was forced in there from family, society, religion, things of that nature. So this evening, you are the demon or the Daemon. First of all, let's begin with the word Daemon or demon. When I use the word, I'm spelling it Daemon, which comes from a Greek background. And it basically relates to the super genius or the genius or supernatural self. That, in essence, is you and has always been you. But somewhere along the line, we disconnected this reality of us being the genius or the true self. Some would call it the holy angel or the holy guardian angel or the true self or the higher self, whatever the hell floats your boat to make you feel good at the end of the day. Pick what term makes you feel good. It's just the term. But it relates, the Daemon relates to the true self. The self, the higher, whatever you call it, that's what the demon or Daemon truly relates to. Okay? And in its essence, it relates to not only the true self, but your true origin. Your true origin going back to the black hole, which gave birth to the black sun, which then gave birth or germinated life across the multiverses. It's not just one universe, it's multiverses. But that's a discussion for another day. So let's get into it. Today, I'll be coming from The Black Ship, which is authored by Malthus, or Malthus. It's a very good book to get, especially when it comes to tapping into the true self or the higher self. So we're going to discuss some things from here. And then we're going to, after we discuss some things, we're going to open up the floor for questions. I tend to try to do a discussion for 30 minutes to an hour. And then we open it up for more, which is questions or anything that y'all want to relate, bring up, discuss, ask about, whatever the case may be. So, the Pandemonium Mandala. Pandemonium, as it is defined, is considered chaos, confusion, wildness. It's a state that we all existed and came from. Before there was ever such a thing as order, And everybody talks about Ma'at and Ma'at. Chaos existed. And this is the thing that people, I believe, especially in the conscious community, have a problem accepting. They want to bring everything under order and balance without ever accepting, understanding, and embracing the reality of chaos. Chaos is what birthed this universe. It wasn't fucking balance. It wasn't order. It wasn't harmony. It was straight chaos. Chaos, friction, explosion, straight chaotic explosion, bringing forth a multitude of different levels of existence, vibrations, and frequencies. But however, we all have been taught, especially those of us who came through the conscious community, that Ma'at is everything. That's bullshit. Chaos existed before Ma'at. You would not need order if chaos didn't exist before order. See, you have to, according to some of these secret societies, there's an old Latin term called ordo ab chaos. Out of chaos comes order, meaning chaos is first. You, through your individuated consciousness as Set, Sut, or Satech, brings that order out of the chaos in your life. Your chaos is different than my chaos. Although it is still essentially chaos, your chaos may be different than my chaos, but I have to bring it under my order as Set Satuch, who stood on top of a pet, showing or representing the symbolic power of using your individuated consciousness to master your chaos and bring it under your order for your particular life. But never forgetting that chaos is eternal and will always return and will always be there. Okay? So let's get into this pandemonium mandala. Beyond time and space, at the heart of existence, there shines a black sun. It is the source of true being and ever boils and blazes forth in exuberance of its own ipsiety. And through each seed or seed ray of obsidian light, obsidian, especially black obsidian being very dark, super dark, black, beyond dark, that emanates from the black sun, there comes into being a daemon or demon. The demons are unfolding, translation, and diversification of the essence and influence of the black sun into explicit manifestation. And so each demon has its own unique will, desires, and powers. Mind you, we're speaking of yourself here as the demon. Each one of you has a unique will, your own will that is basically forged from your experience. This is what makes it unique because, yes, we may have similar experiences, but everyone has their own personal experience, though shared and similar. It's different based upon your perspective or your perception on life. So it forges your unique will. That will should be strong. That will should be pushed through passion, desire, because it is passion and desire that actually promotes and helps manifest the will. If you have a will, but it is not forged by passion, the fire of passion and desire, then your will go for naught. Each demon has its own unique will, desires, and powers. Everyone's desire is different. Some of y'all may want to suck elephant toes. Other y'all may want to hang glide. Other y'all may want to tickle somebody's booty. Everybody has their own desire. It is your particular desire that is forged by your unique will. This is different than everybody else's. But in essence, you should embrace whatever your desire is. And you have your own unique power. Everyone does not have the same power. Even superhero movies show this. Everyone has their own unique power. That is the power you should be cultivating. That is the power you should utilize to transform yourself on a daily basis. And the demons together surround the black sun in a mandala of continual blossoming. A mandala, which is basically a geometric shape, which is utilized by some individuals in the Buddhist path and other paths. It's a geometric shape, and as we know, geometries, sacred geometries, utilizes these shapes to harness energy. Strong potential energy utilized for creation. And the demons together surround the black sun in a mandala of continual blossoming. The court of the black sun, and together the demons form a sovereign company as the masters of Chaosmos. Sovereign. We're not talking about the more sovereignty here. We're talking about your own individual sovereignty. The ability to rule over yourself and govern over yourself independent of others' thoughts, influences, opinions, etc. And as such, you become a master of the Chaosmos. What is the Chaosmos? Cosmos, in essence, is really a chaos. So, in essence, the author here combined the two, the cosmos and chaos. Chaosmos. This cosmos was brought into existence from utter chaos. This is pandemonium, the abode of all demons. And from pandemonium, the demons transmit their influence upon earthly life and sensual experience. And from pandemonium, which is the abode of demons, the demons transmit their influence upon earthly life in sensual experience. Sensuality is very important on a left-hand path. What is sensual to you could be different for someone else, but learn what you consider to be sensual and embrace that. Utilize it in your everyday working. Together, the sovereign company coordinates plans for the becoming of sapient beings and the realities that will be manifested through the prism of time, space, and matter. The three things that govern basically physical existence: time, space, and matter. For in truth, sapient beings, this is where it gets right to the point. Sapient beings are the personae or persona of demons. Many of these persona dream unknown of their demonic nature and origin. Now, some of y'all have dreams of demons. Some demons can look humanoid. Some demons can look bestial and humanoid. They have different appearances. In essence, when you dream of this, you're actually dreaming of one of your true forms of existence. Where do you think these images come from, people? They didn't just freaking appear because somebody wanted to draw it or depict it. It's because it actually is a part of your persona. It's actually a part of you, and you're seeing your true existence in a chaosmos. When you tap into certain work or do certain rituals, you tap into that subconscious, particularly opening the doorway to the unconscious, and you start to see these things. And we've labeled them demons and succubi and incubi, succubus for plural and incubus for plural, and what other goddamn names you want to call them. In essence, you're seeing a representation of your true self. Now, they may startle the shit out of some of y'all. Some of y'all know this because you see it on a regular basis, but don't really discuss it. It's all good. The point is, this is the essence of yourself, and it's not this pretty essence that we think of as being a humanoid or a human being, I should say, okay, or a sapient being. You're going to see things when you do the work, and it's going to open doorways, especially if you use mirrors in some of these rituals. Like I said yesterday when I recorded a video, I created a Kali ritual last night. Utilizing a mirror towards the end of the ritual, it opens up doorways to see your true demonic self, okay? But anyways, let's keep it flowing and going. Many of these personae dream unknowing of their demonic nature and origin. Some few of them dream awake, if only for a time. The hour has now come for more dreamers to awaken to this truth. The better to dream even greater dreams. These shall be the initiates of pandemonium. As each initiate becomes more consciously aware of the superconscious dimension of being that is personified by the demon, and as the gifts of the demon are consciously integrated into the worldly persona, a growing understanding and realization of the initiate's essential and true will and unique life purpose will unfold. Let me repeat that one more time. As each initiate becomes more consciously aware of the superconscious dimension of being that is personified by the demon, and its gifts of the demon are consciously integrated into the worldly persona, a growing understanding and realization of the initiate's essential true will and unique life purpose will unfold. As more and more initiates consciously and intentionally affect this process, the demons externalize into fleshly manifestation upon the earth to remanifest their company and execute their plans directly. Earth becomes pandemonium. This is some of y'all right now. Some of y'all are actually these incarnated demons or demonic selves in human flesh. You know this, you sense it, but you won't utter it out loud because people are going to look at you as twisted, crazy, or just need to be in a white jacket. That's how people will look at you. So some of y'all are wise enough to keep it under wraps around the wrong people. But for those of us who are on this path and we can communicate and make contact with each other, you're starting to realize that you are this manifestation of the demonic self. You are this manifestation in the flesh of the demon self. And you're starting to notice more and more based upon your life experiences. And you're bringing these things into reality, causing a shift in consciousness on this planet, where some people, and let's get this straight up right out the way. No, not all melanated mother effers are going to wake the hell up. That's a pipe dream that we keep wishing and hoping, but it's not going to happen. And you can tell it's not going to happen because you can still hear people, so-called conscious people, still rehashing the same bullcrap. For example, I really give two shits about R. Kelly. We've known, for those of us who've been around for that time, we knew that mother effer was screwed up back then. And people still gave him a pass. Why the hell did they give him a pass back then when they had some things come out down the pipeline, okay, about the things he was doing with underage girls and things like that? But we still gave him a pass because, oh, his music's so good and it makes me want to bump and grind. The F out of here. I don't care about R. Kelly. His ass should have been dealt with a long time ago, but people want to rehash it now because Lifetime put out a movie. Listen to this. Lifetime put out a movie about R. Kelly, or documentary, whatever the hell you want to call it, and every Negro in their so-called conscious mind wants to jump on the bandwagon and discuss it. Again, external influence, influencing your mind, thought forms, influencing your mind and controlling what you think about presently. It's a damn shame. But anyways, and inevitably for such beings, the sky need not be the limit. As the demonic race launches itself into the darkness and establishes pandemonium among the stars, this shall be the dominion of eternal night. And that's happening now, y'all. Some of y'all are tapping more and more into the demonic self and realizing it. Whether you're using Cthulhu, whether you're using Kali, whatever the hell you're using is opening the doorway to tap into the demonic self and go further and further into your work and cause a shift in consciousness for those who are supposed to be of the demonic pandemonium path. You're starting to bring that shift about through what you're discussing, talking, or building upon. Calling forth the demon within. Now we're going to bring the title of this discussion to the forefront. You are the demon. Calling forth the demon within. Let me take a little sip here. The essence of a demon is a specific, particularized emanation or ray of the black sun. It unfolds and translates specific powers and potentialities of the black sun into explicit manifestation. Right now, some of y'all tapping into the black sun. The black sun, to me, in essence, is another way of saying the black flame. The black sun is the external, the black flame is the internal. When you tap into this, you're bringing forth power and potentiality that you're manifesting into everyday existence, creating greater results. At the core of your being, you are. Let me say this again and repeat it 2 times. At the core of your being, you are this demon, which shines in its turn as the black sun of a dynamic inner mandala of divine human and animal natures and drives within you. Like a great witch's sabbath dancing around the central black flame. These elements are the many identities or sub-personalities that populate your psyche or soul and make up the many facets of the mind. That's a damn mouthful, so I'm going to repeat that part again. The essence of a demon is a specific, particularized emanation or ray of the black sun that unfolds and translates specific powers and potentialities of the black sun into explicit manifestation. At the core of your being, you are this demon, which shines in its turn as the black sun of a dynamic inner mandala of divine human and animal natures and drives within you. Like a great witch's sabbath dancing around that central black flame. These elements are the many identities or sub-personalities that populate your psyche or soul and make up the many facets of the mind. Now here, this last part is juicy. Let me explain why. These elements are the many identities or sub-personalities that populate your psyche or soul. Every one of y'all have multiple sub-personalities that populate your psyche or soul. I'll give you an example of what I mean. One day you feel like a Sith. Sith is one of my core work that I do a lot with. Sith sorcery. You could go back to some of my old videos. I did a lot of discussions on the Sith because the Sith to me represent the modern day Setian. Also represents the modern day individual or individuated consciousness or master of self. Okay, it's just more in a modern day form through the Star Wars saga. However, let me just explain sub-personalities. One day y'all may feel like a Sith. Okay, the next day you feel like you're working with Cthulhu. Okay, the next day you feel like you are Poseidon. The next day you feel like you're an Arab assassin. The next day, whatever the case is. My point is, these sub-personalities are really all parts of you. Whether it's through DNA or spirit work or spirit attachment, these are, in essence, all a part of you and make up sub-personalities that are in your psyche or soul. And this is why someday you can feel like, okay, I'm working with this kind of sorcery and magic. The next day, I'm working with Kali. The next day, I'm working with Set. The next day, I'm working with some Nordic Viking shit. The next day, I'm down here working with some voodoo shit. You understand? That's because of these different personalities that make up you through DNA as well as through spirit work. And in essence, they all are part of you. And this is why you can find yourself jumping from thing to thing after every 6 months, every 9 months, every 3 months. It's not that you're crazy and out of your mind. It's that these personalities or spirits jump through you to gain access into this realm to be fed by the energy that is needed. So let's say you just chilling. The next day you working with the Goetia. The next day you find yourself wanting to work vampire magic. Well, there's a spirit or a personality that's connected to your psyche that needs to be fed or is wanting energy. And it keeps pushing you towards that route. To get that energy in the process, you gain wisdom, knowledge, power, whatever the hell is there. The key thing is learning how to work with these spirits or subpersonalities when they manifest. Because if you don't pay attention to them and you suppress it or repress it or resist it, it's only going to get stronger and come back harder the next time around and push you to do more things the next time around that you normally might not do because you're not learning how to work with this within yourself and feeding that energy when it's necessary for the time being. Anyways, let's keep it going. For the purpose of practical work, the psyche can be divided into 3 levels or aspects. In addition to the demon, there are also what can be called the familiar and the advocate. The familiar is concerned with survival, growth, and the general thriving of the life force. It controls all of the automatic process and functions of the physical body and filters our sensory perception so they do not overwhelm our attention. The familiar actually controls much of daily life, including all of the routine actions that do not require full conscious awareness. It is also what sometimes perceived as the inner child and is the source of emotional feelings, thus also concerned with emotional survival. Additionally, the familiar oversees the part of the mind that stores memories and associations. It then interprets these associations and reacts accordingly when they are stimulated. The center of this intelligence is often perceived as being in the solar plexus. What we are calling the advocate is equivalent to the human persona or character, that aspect of being which people normally identify with only on a daily basis and consider to be who they are. The advocate exercises the powers of will, reason, imagination, and choice. It sets goals and formulates plans and acts in accordance with those plans. Now, at this point, I like to say, all of us have what is considered the threefold us, or the trifold us, the trifold self. There is who you see yourself as. There is what people see you as. And then the last is who you really are. People try to wrestle the fence between 1 and 2 and forget number 3. They try to be 1, what they think they are, and many a times what we think we are is what we created to survive in this society, meaning the identity and personality we created so we could survive on a day-to-day basis in this society. That's not really who you are. That's what you think you are, and you created this mask to play out in this life to survive here. Then there's what people see you as. What people see you as may be a little bit of what you see yourself as or none of what you see yourself as, okay? That's how people see you and perceive you based upon how they perceive life. Then there's who you really are, which usually has little to do with what you created to exist here or what you see yourself as. Who you really are may be totally different than what you see yourself as. But in essence, this is something that we have to discover in our work, because we all have created this persona to exist in this society, but that's not really who you are. And when you start to do the work, go deep into the subconscious and the abysmic mind, do the work to hit and go forth into the abyss, you start to find who you really are. May shock the crap out of you. You may find you like some weird things in life that you just not ready to accept, but you have to. It is who you are. Okay? You may find that you are stronger than you thought you were, and in other parts, you're weaker than you thought you were. Whatever the case, the point and the goal of the work is to find who you really are. Not what you created, and not what people see you as. Anyways, let's continue. To show how this aspect of being works, the use of such words as advocate, persona, and character is quite precise. The word advocate comes from Latin that means to call, which shows the central role played by the advocate in practical work. An advocate is also, of course, one who speaks in support of something or someone. Persona is again Latin, referring to the mask worn by an actor. This calls to mind character, though this word originally refers to engraving. So through contemplating the ideas of positive speaking, playing roles, and engraving words and images, you will begin to understand what the magic of the advocate is about. The center of this intelligence is often perceived as being within the head. The demon has been recognized by many cultures and magical systems. Most notably, these include the personal daemon or demon of the ancient Greeks and the equivalent genius of the Romans. The Norse Flyja seems to share qualities with both the demon and the familiar. The Hawaiian Amuakua has much in common with all of these. The holy guardian of Therion, after Abramelin, will probably be most familiar to contemporary magicians. The demon is also frequently associated symbolically with birds or winged beings, and it may be profitable to include the symbolism in demonic invocations. The center of this intelligence is often perceived as being slightly above the top of the head, though sometimes it is perceived within the heart. As the familiar is associated with the subconscious and atavistic levels of the mind, the demon is the intelligence of the superconscious realm of genius and inspiration. In one sense, the demon is understandable as an ideal parent with both fatherly and motherly qualities. In another sense, the demon is like an ideal lover. The demon knows both the advocate and the familiar intimately and understands and supports them totally. The demon is an ever-present guide and mentor. It is also the hidden manifestor of the plans and patterns that make up your reality. Of course, demons also comprise their own society or company within the realm of pandemonium. They are all in communication with each other, weaving their plans and patterns together in the manner of their nature. More individuals become aligned on a human level with their own demonic being, facilitates the manifestation of these plans and patterns upon the earth. The demon is especially concerned with the fulfillment of personal meta needs. Meta needs are needs for nourishment and growth of being that go beyond the physiological and emotional needs of the familiar and the intellectual needs of the advocate. Some essential meta needs are self-actualization, self-sufficiency and wholeness, truth and meaning, beauty, perfection and uniqueness, goodness and justice, aliveness, power, and freedom. These ideals may seem abstract. It will be necessary to define what they mean for you personally and to integrate them concretely into your being and life. This is achieved over time as you bring the elements of your soul together, bringing the work into increasingly clear focus. If you earnestly seek understanding and fulfillment of these needs, the demon will be happy and will respond. By consciously adopting and emulating the qualities of the demon, the advocate can be a better guide to the familiar while also drawing the demon closer. This great work is what we call demonic integration and begins with the invocation and oath given below. The act marks deliberate rebirth into demonic race. Now, keep this in mind for anybody who wants to practice this or try this. I've done this plenty of times and it works. Okay? This is how you're going to integrate yourself with your true self or your demonic self. Okay? The basic process is as follows, but may be further enhanced and solemnized as you will. It has been found that writing and signing the oath gives greater power to the act. Creation and possession of the written oath is not necessary in the way it would be with a mundane contract, but its physical creation and signing seem to anchor the oath's forging as well as resulting in talisman or token for later remembrance and use. Will to contact your demon and ask for it to reveal itself and to help in your becoming. Now, set up your altar how the hell you choose to do this ritual. Okay? I will say this. It is good to have a black candle. It is good to have an incense or oil of your choice. The author here suggests the oil of abramelin. Okay? Abramelin, I have that oil on my website, serpentcrystals.com. Get it. I also have the incense, which is good to burn the incense and use the oil in this particular demonic integration ritual. Funny thing is, I didn't even realize Brother Beniti was Tuesday. I think he's discussing something similar. I didn't even know because I had this schedule since last week. Just shows people work on a certain wavelength, they still connect on certain topics. All right. Anyways, proclaim, may I awaken and be whole. Not whole as in H-O-E, damn it, though some of us are holes, but whole as in W-H-O-L-E. May I awaken and be whole. Then take several slow, deep, easy breaths while imagining and willing that your body is filling with power. What I tend to do when I imagine this is I imagine a light, a dark black light or blue light or violet light hitting my body, particularly from the solar plexus, and spreading north and south or up and down all around my body. This is how I picture this when I do this ritual. You have to find what works for you, okay? After you do the breaths, imagine and will that your body is filling with power. Continue to do this while focusing your attention on the demonic center just above your head, right here. When the energy has built up into a powerful charge, look straight up into the demonic center like this. Remember, the demonic center is right here above your head. Look up and you blow upward in one full exhalation. So you should have taken a deep breath, look up, and exhale. Sending the power via the breath to the demon. Hopefully you brush your goddamn teeth or take some mouthwash before you do this ritual. I'm just saying. Some people got some serious dragon breath. The demon might get offended. Probably not, but it might get offended. If it does, you need to put a tic tac on it. Anyways, blow upward in one full exhalation, sending the power via the breath to the demon. Note that this part of the operation may be enhanced by simultaneously burning some of the incense of abramelin. Speak thus to your demon. Demon, who are you and what is your will? I would know the mystery of myself. You're still looking up doing this, okay? Take a slow, deep breath and relax. After a moment, you will likely feel a return flow from your demon. This is known as the anointing because it often feels like a fluid pouring down upon your head and flowing down over you. It's something very similar to what the author here is describing. When you do this, you will feel a charge of energy and almost like it's almost like you're being, lack of a better word, anointed or baptized, and it's like this tremendous energy flowing down through from your head down to your feet. All right. It is thus tradition to say, let the rain of blessings fall. Be open and receptive to the experience and mindful of it. Note that this part of the operation may be enhanced by an anointing with the oil of abramelin. The anointing may be upon the forehead, the heart, or both, as well as perhaps also the hands and feet. I tend to do the back of my wrists, my forehead, and my heart. Okay? Sometimes I put it in the corner of my ears, but everybody has to find what works and flows with them. But first, savor the feeling of the subtle anointing and note any feelings or impressions received. The oil may be used afterward as a kind of physical seal upon the experience. Follow now with the oath. Look up or within to your demonic center and affirm the following. In the light of the black sun, I affirm my demonic nature and my place in the sovereign company of pandemonium. I sincerely and enthusiastically promise and swear that I will forever seek to further discover, cultivate, and express the mystery of myself. To the further glory of the black sun and the further greatness of demon kind, may my magic keep me steadfast. And so it is done. Welcome. This, when you say welcome, you're basically welcoming your true self or the demonic self. All right? Keep this in mind when you do this ritual. You can use a black candle. You could use an ultraviolet lamp. Whatever you feel is essential to your work. Okay? The actual flame or light is consecrated by opening a gate to the pandemonium realm. Having already invoked the personal demon to empower the operation, this is done by tracing a pentagram beginning at the bottommost point and working counterclockwise while speaking to call to open Zazas, Zazas, Nasatanta, Zazas. All right? First step, of course, to invoke your personal demon to be with you and to act through you for the purpose of consecrating yourself, any ritual tools, or any things of that nature. All right? And you light the black flame, then you do et cetera work. So, it goes on to this, in this book. I suggest that if you don't have it, you get it. My personal copy is coming soon. Right now, I'm going off of the Scribd or scribe.com. Essential book to have for those on the left-hand path, especially if you're doing demonic integration or demonic work. Essential. Okay? But he also goes on to here speak about ancestral connection and the importance of ancestral connection when you're doing demonic integration. Okay? It is important that when you do demonic integration, you also connect with your ancestors. Some of your ancestors may be stuck in limbo. Some of your ancestors are stuck in certain things. You as the individual in the present form, physical existence of that DNA lineage have the power and the right to heal ancestral wounds. Okay? And it goes into it in this book, and we'll probably go into that another lecture or discussion that we have. But you want to definitely do ancestral work when you do demonic integration. Right now, as I said, we're having those who signed up for necromancy class. This is a part of something we're going to be doing in the necromancy class, the ancestral connection and how to actually heal the ancestral lineage. If and possibility that it's been damaged or certain trauma still exists within the ancestral DNA line, we have work to do in the necromancy classes. It's probably going to be week 3 and 4 for the next necromancy classes. All right. So I know that's a lot. I know we dealt with a lot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll up and see any questions that I may miss, because I usually don't take questions until after the discussion. After the presentation part. Once we do the presentation with the discussion, questions, comments, or whatever. So, Shamanic Mystic Peace, didn't see that earlier. Chaotic Scott, good. I have buku information on the Sith. and I study that day and night. I'm sure a lot of our parents thought we were demons, and we were. All right. Hey, Chantel. All right, let me break this down for y'all. All right, JG states basically makes a statement here. So I'm gonna break this down for you. This comes actually from Sith Sorcery, but I'm gonna apply it to what we're discussing here this evening. Okay, because it really ties in to what JG is stating and something I stated earlier. Okay, there is 5 principal points that you should know and utilize when working sorcery, magic, whatever the hell you want to call it. These 5 points are essential to your work. All right, let's go over that now. And let me get to the point. Okay, the keys of sorcery. Well, here is the keys of Sith sorcery. Keys unlock doors. The keys to Sith sorcery are those that unlock the potentials of power that the sorcerer may wield. They are as ingredients in the cauldron. The first key is desire. Without desire, your ritual will surely fail. Anytime you work any ritual, it stems first and foremost. The first key is your desire in working that ritual. Without this desire, your ritual will surely fail. Desire stems from passion, lust, sexuality, sensuality, plans, goals, dreams, aspirations, etc., etc., etc. You must have a true need to see the change you wish to effect. If you're doing a ritual, do you really have a need to bring about a change? Or are you just playing with this stuff? Because if you have a true need to cause a change and you have serious desire behind it, it will change. Now we're going to get into how serious this desire is. Desire is the motivation behind your working. It must be felt deeply, and to the extent that if your need goes unfulfilled, it will cause you pain. Let me say that again. Key point here. Desire is the motivation behind your working. It must be felt deeply, and to the extent that if your need goes unfulfilled, it will cause you pain, emotional pain, physical pain, mental pain. Whatever it is, if that desire goes unmet, it will bring around pain. Cloak yourself in your desire as you pull towards yourself the power of the dark side, or chaos, or the abyss, or the gates of the underworld, or the gates of hell. Whatever it is, pull that to you. Pull that power to you. Let your yearning shake you, ache and agony. And only when you cannot bear the craving for the change you intend to release into the cosmos, only at that moment, when the desire has brought the pain and the craving for that desire so strong for the change you intend to release into the cosmos in orgasmic delight, knowing you have wrought your will. That's how strong your desire has to be. That it brings about that agony, that ache, that pain, that if you don't receive it, it just gets compounded and gets stronger and worse. So eventually you release that desire like you're having the best orgasm in your life. And you send it out into the multiverse. That's how important desire is to your ritual work. I'm just going into what JG was bringing up because this is important to understand. When you work your rituals, We've gone over this, but I'm not sure people still really understand this. If you go into your ritual and you half-assing it, oh, let me just do the ritual because I'm supposed to. Well, let me just do this ritual because it's what I should do. Well, let me just do this ritual to see what comes out of it. You ain't really ready to do the ritual. You playing around. Your desire should be so strong for what you want to work and bring about change that shit is strong like an orgasm. If you're not there, I don't know what to tell you when you work in your ritual. The second key is timing. Before the serpent strikes, it rears its head and contemplates the best time to engage its fangs. Successful sorcery depends on knowing when the target is in its most receptive state. Consciousness is an obstacle to outside unconscious influence. Therefore, the best time to cast your spell is when your target sleeps. Let's say you want a promotion at your job. You know your boss is probably asleep because he got to be at work at 7 or she got to be at work at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. So most likely around 1 or 2, they're asleep. Get your lazy butt up. Do a ritual with strong desire if you want a promotion at your job, and send that desire with so much power and thought and intention into the multiverse and influence the mind of your boss to give you that promotion. Better still, the sorcerer should know when the target is in a dream state of sleep, which typically occurs in the last 2 or 3 hours before waking. The dream state is when the mind is in its most receptive state. Working your sorcery is most effective if done after midnight. Nighttime has always been the time of sorcery. While the masses of people are at rest, the flow of personal energy resonating to the living force is at its lowest. This is a kind of psychic low tide when the streams of consciousness and biorhythms are at a lull. Nighttime provides the path of least resistance and should be utilized by the would-be successful sorcerer or sorceress. The third key is imagery. The Sith sorcerer must prepare well the trappings of the thing that is to be. Imagery is an intellect-saving device, a constant reminder to the conscious and unconscious mind of your intended outcome. Imagery is symbolic of our desire. Pictures, drawings, writings, and sculptures, even sound and sense build a blueprint of your intent. Fourth key is direction. Accumulating the force within and tempering it with your desire is a better part of a successful spell, but directing the energies and completely releasing them is far more vital to the operation. Once you have cast your spell, you must not have concern for it any longer. You must have no doubt that the spell has hit its target and has worked, or quite simply, it will not. Meaning, do the ritual, send all this energy, all your intention, all your might into it. Once you're done, you're done. Wipe your hands, clean your hands, let go and stop thinking about it. The more you think about, oh, if the ritual work, I hope it works, you just doubt it, you just did it for nothing. Self-doubt is one of the worst weapons of mass destruction. Self-destruction. All right? The goal of casting a spell is to free oneself from the desire by directing the energy of that desire towards the goal. Worrying about the effectiveness of the spell only weakens the emotional energy that you have sent out. It's akin to pulling back that which you have thrust into reality. When casting your spell, you must vent all your emotional energies into ritualistically directed force. Pull the trigger and release the bullet, knowing that the target will be hit. And the fifth most important and key point of working your sorcery is harmony. The harmony factor summed up essentially as being realistically in the goals you set. This is especially true when working rites of lust or compassion, or passion, or things of that nature. The sorcerer must be honest enough with themselves to know their limitations. It means brutally self-assessment. Be brutally honest with yourself when you're assessing yourself. Knowing what you can have based upon what you do. For example, if you are less attractive or ugly, whatever people perceive to be ugly, face the fact that the supermodel will not bend to your attentions no matter how potent your craft or your spell. Be real, son. You ain't getting that sexy model if your ass look but ugly. All right? It's just not happening. If you look like Beetlejuice, it's not happening. Okay? I'm just saying. You gotta be real, peeps. You gotta be real on stuff like this. If you're working at McDonald's and you say, I want to go of $1 million next year, but you're working at McDonald's, you ain't being realistic, homeboy or homegirl. You're just not being realistic, all right? You got to be real and brutally honest. That's key. Self-knowledge is the greatest strength. We must be honest with ourselves about our limitations. Sorcery is like the nature of the force itself. Success depends on working with who and what you really are, not what you think you should be. Okay? Now, I hope that helped out JG there. Well, let me tell you this, bro. So I have an Instagram page. Go on it every so often. Everybody and their mother want to talk about R. Kelly. It's pure disgusting to me. I mean, just honestly, it's just pure disgusting to me how we get diverted and sidetracked from the real work at hand. I'm talking about people mostly talking about are these so-called witches and brujas and people like that who call themselves queen of magic and witches of... Listen, how silly our conscious minds can be, how easily distracted we get. All right. Andre Pope, that graveyard funeral home energy is delicious. If you really want to work with spirits, if you want to do necromancy, get familiar and comfortable with working in that graveyard. Okay? It is your second home, so to speak. Now, for those who want to use psychedelics, it's your choice. I don't diss nobody. I don't put nobody down for what they choose to do. However, I'm of the opinion, and opinions are just that, opinions, that you should be able to reach altered state of consciousness without the use of psychedelics. You should be able to tap into your altered state of consciousness without any assistance other than yourself. Why do I say that? Well, let's just hypothetically say that all these psychedelics, all these drugs or whatever was no longer available and was not readily there for use. How are you going to get there? You're so used to using something external to get to an altered state of consciousness that when it's no longer there, you're going to have problems doing it. I don't need none of that stuff, but I don't diss nobody who wants to use it or try it. That's your choice. Me, I don't need none of that stuff. I go in an altered state of consciousness easily and quickly through meditation, through drumming, or different things like that. I could get there. Those who see me at a ritual know that I can easily get in an altered state of consciousness and tap into spirits or energy or vibrations, frequencies, whatever you want to call it, without the aid of any of that. But however you want to get there, get there. That's your choice. But it will come a time when you're not able or should not have to utilize or need that to get there. You should find your own true power and will to get there. Just saying. Chamunda is the ish, Brother Pope. He is harnessing a lot of that taboo dark energy. But the conscious mind of people today are quick to label and quick to destroy. Now, the reason why I say R. Kelly and I don't give two shits is because personally, I don't care what R. Kelly did, does, or will do. What I care about is if there was victims and they were minimized and nothing came out of it. However, what he personally does is his own personal business, as long as he ain't hurting nobody, right? But at the same time, there's certain things that open doorways to things that are buried inside of us. He did that. He tapped into certain dark energy that brought up certain things that were buried in his mind that were considered taboo or dark, and it came to the surface. So I keep that in mind as well. But when I say he don't get a pass, is we can't minimize the victims and what they've gone through or possibly go through. All right? All right. Thank you, Woke Media, for putting that Dropbox info there for the black ship. If you are the creator, how do you know? Okay. Results. Let me say this. Everything dealing with sorcery, magic, or this occult path, how do you really want to know if you created something? How do you really want to know if a sorcerer or a magician is effective in their work? Comes down to results. The results speak for themselves. If you're trying to create something to bring into your life, your existence that is beneficial or something you need, the results, meaning what you get from the work, the results, what came about from your ritual work, shows how you can create things and bring them into fruition, meaning manifest things into your physical reality. But you got to remember, when you work these things, you're working from the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind, or the subjective realm. You're going into your subjective realm, creating, in essence, a new self, in essence, a new programming, and manifesting it in the objective realm. The objective realm is the realm that we see, that we live in, the realm that we interact with people. The problem happens is when I try to take my subjective realm and make you believe in it. Like Christians will say, Jesus Christ is real. To who? To what? And how? Listen, we could debate day and night about Jesus Christ. The point is, you in your subjective realm believe that Jesus is real. You say you feel Jesus is real. You say you personally know he's real. You know because he touched your heart. How the hell you want me to co-sign on that shit when I'm not in your subjective realm? I'm not in that part of your existence. The only part of existence I'm with connected to you is this objective realm. So I can't co-sign your subjective realities or experiences. You can share with me, and if I've had similar experiences, I will say, okay, I can feel that, or I can get with that, but I'm not going to co-sign and say that shit is real, true, when that's just not my experience. The problem happens when we try to get people to co-sign and believe in our personal or subjective experiences. That's where we go and cause more damage than good. JG, that's true. There's templates people follow. However, if you are, let's say you or anybody's walking the left-hand path, you challenge even the templates that are there. For example, my culture is Puerto Rican, okay? My ancestry is African, Taino, and Spaniard. The African Taino part is what I mostly connect to. I really don't acknowledge that rapist, oppressive Spaniard. Although I realize that and have accepted that, I'm not really keen on that. However, the 2/3, that's more what I've embraced and learned and then definitely lived for years. Here's the thing. There's certain things in the Puerto Rican culture that are straight stupid to me. It's a template, and people accept it as, yo, this is what it is to be Puerto Rican. This is what it means. But some of it, if it's just stupid, is just that, stupid. I don't have to accept it, and I have to rewrite the program of what was put into me from my family and being raised in a Puerto Rican culture or background. I have to rewrite that programming, that template that was put into me, so that I can put in what I want to that may be more beneficial for my personal existence. So yes, templates, people follow that. It could be a tribal thing, and it because it fulfills their nature. That's understood. But at the left-hand path, we challenge everything. You challenge your culture, you challenge your beliefs, you challenge your thoughts, you challenge your everything about yourself. You should challenge. And not challenge just like a little bit to ruffle a little bit of feathers. Like seriously do some serious inventory on yourself. If the shit is stupid, now you looking back now from what you've learned on the occult path or traveled or have experienced, if it just doesn't fit, I don't give a damn if it's part of a tribal thing or not. It just don't fit. I'll give you an example. There's a tribe in Africa, okay, that once a year, the men go out into the, I think it's a hillside or countryside up on a hill. They dig holes in the ground and they stick their dick in the ground and they keep pumping the ground and they give their seed or their sperm into the ground because that's supposed to bring about a fruitful harvest. So what about if you go through a dry spell, dry season, even after you've done this ritual, and in 2 years in a row, you go through a dry spell that leads to a famine? Well, either the earth is not enjoying your semen anymore or accepting it, or we're just sticking our dick in things, okay? Now, for us here in the West who've been westernized in mentality, that may seem a little strange. In this mentality, this existence, I'm not going to go around sticking my dick in the ground and humping it and just leaving my seed in there. So if for that tribal thing, that template seems like ideal, but in the workings of things, if certain results don't manifest, how ideal is it? See, we got to look at things and really get down into the nitty-gritty of it. So there's other tribes I know where once a year they stick their hand all up in the cow or cattle's juice, her little vag. Well, it's not little, it's huge, right? And they do certain rituals with that. It's not just to milk the cow. They do a ritual with that and everything else. See, these things, okay, they're rituals. I understand. And certain tribes have certain traditional aspects. But certain traditions have to be questioned if it's beneficial or not. I did the Santeria thing for years. Some of that shit is good. Some of that shit is straight stupid. And some of it has become straight about money. If I was afraid to question that, I would still be stuck under the tradition and being controlled by the traditional system, which is more of a communal aspect and not more of an individualistic aspect, which we work and walk on a left-hand path to master the self and be the God over self. A lot of indigenous people have a communal mentality. In cross-cultural psychology, you find out that a lot of indigenous cultures have a communal society, meaning there is no individual, and you cannot benefit yourself as an individual. Everything you do has to be for the tribe. Sounds nice. But on the left-hand path, it's about self-deification, self-actualization, self-mastery. So if my tribe holds me back from mastering myself and reaching greater heights, then the template is not consistent and not beneficial to me, because although it may seem beneficial for the tribe, in essence, if I elevate myself and reach greater heights, where I can then give back to the tribe things that the tribe may be lacking, then the template of holding back that individual is inconsistent with my self-actualization. It becomes a problem. And then we have to attack that and question that and challenge that within ourselves. And nothing and no one, not even a tribal template, should hold you back from reaching greater heights. But this is the reality of life, because we have this tribal mentality, and it's still within our DNA as melanated people. It still tends to be there. So we could be on this left-hand path or the occult, reaching ourself as a chaos being, but then hold ourselves back because we're too familiar or familial. So not familiar, familial, meaning we're more family-based. But if in essence I really am trying to elevate my family, you may have to be a little more selfish and less selfless to help your family truly reach greater heights. So all these things we have to really study and attack ourselves in the templates that we've been raised in and basically cultivated under, and question it. Okay? Because yes, I love my family, but at the same time, I live by a different paradigm. I respect those who respect me. This includes my family. You do not get respect just because you're my family, because a lot of my family has violated me in various ways for years. Now, I can use this, oh, it's about family thing as a template. It's about family, but it's the very family that's shafting you up the butt without grease for years. And we make outs and excuses. Oh, that's my family. Yo, you got to do things. It's about the fam. Really? When some of y'all look closely in your family, it's your very family who has destroyed you or has kept you bounded and hurt you. But that's why I tell people I may not be liked, and I don't get two shits if you like me or not, because I'm not here to be liked. But the raw reality is you gotta start looking at everything in your life, even family, and asking yourself, is my family holding me back or helping me along the path of self-mastery? You gotta be real. If you respect me, I respect you. If you disrespect me, even family, sorry, you crossed the line. Certain things are going to happen after you cross the line. Serious things are going to happen if you keep disrespecting me. And I don't care that family bond is an illusion at times, because so many kids have been violated by family over and over because, oh, that's family. They would never do that, when it's usually that family member who's causing the most harm to your kids nowadays. But we got this twisted in society because the media got people twisted, thinking that a lot of this child molestation happens because it's a stranger. Bullshit. If you look at the statistics, 90%, 85 to 90% of most of the child molestation happens from either a family member or somebody who's a friend of the family. They have easy access to your children. But we don't question that stuff. We don't look at that stuff because it's family. Again, that template. But we got to understand that template could be hazardous because we don't question things because it's family. I don't care if you're family. I ain't letting you around my kid if you got some serious issues. Case closed. And if more people thought like that, they could stop a lot of the BS that comes around and the hurt that's being inflicted upon innocent kids and innocent people and things like that nature. But that's just a little tangent, off on a little tangent. Actually, Almighty Sip, I don't block the comments because YouTube does that. YouTube actually blocks it for me and gives me a chance to go back and see what is being said, and if I want to show it or hide it. I have no control over if they block it or not. So what I do is after I do the discussion, the lecturing part, I go back and go down, and I usually show all what is blocked. I'll usually hit show and let people go back up and read it themselves. Yeah, that song right there. That's what got R. Kelly in trouble right there. My mind telling me no, but my body says something. Oh shit. Sorry, y'all. This thing just jumped all the way to the bottom. Ah, damn it. Now I got to scroll all the way up. Sorry. Let me go. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, let me tell you something. Some demons, especially the freaky demons that want to get a little freaky with you, they want some fresh breath. And some of them demons' breath is humming too. You got to tell them to brush their teeth. Anyway, there's something else. All right. That's what we're trying to build here is community, especially people who are in the left-hand path, people who are melanated. It's open for everybody, whether you're melanated or not. But I found through my travels, there's not a lot of people, especially on the left-hand path or into the darker aspects of the occult. There's not really a lot of melanated communities or covens and orders that tend to be more on the right side or fluffy side of things. But as far as on the left-hand path or the darker aspects, that's what we're working here. Brother Beniti, myself, what we're doing is working on that. Like right now, we're doing the necromancy training. Next, we're going to go into vampire, sorcery, and magic in-depthly for a minute. And that's going to be popping off, bringing about a vampiric order. Okay, for those who are interested, that's going to cater more to the melanated side, but it's for everybody again. But like I said, more to the melanated side. I have no problem saying that shit, okay? Let me say why. I was raised Bronx, New York, Hartford, Connecticut. I was raised around Black, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, Haitian, Dominican. That's my experience. That's what I know, okay? That's what I always big up, and that's what I will always build on, okay? I don't hate anybody for their color. What I hate is people who disrespect me because of their color. What I mean by that is if you have a bullying mentality, you have a mentality, you think you're better than me because you have a different race, that's a problem. That's considered disrespect. You cross the line, I'm going to take your ass out, period, okay? But that's my mentality. That's where I come from. So a lot of things I do, I build for the melanated people. But I don't shun no one, all right? But that's just where my love is at because that's what I've known all my life, all right? Hey, I didn't twist my nipples. I rubbed them. Let me say. JG, yes. There's a part of you that, okay, I'll give you an example. It's just a loose example. Let's say you normally don't eat pizza, but for some reason, you got a strong craving for pizza. You think the craving's going to go away. 3 days later, the craving's only getting more intense, more strong. Whatever it is, it's like the part of yourself, part of your persona, okay, part of your psyche, whatever spirit or spirits has attached or through bloodline has connected to your persona, your psyche, and your soulful self, it comes forth. And it's craving that goddamn pizza. I mean, it wants this pizza so bad that you could taste it, but you normally won't do that for whatever reason, your choice, whatever. But it just keeps intensifying. Eventually, you're going to either have to feed that energy or try to suppress it. But the problem with suppression is what you resist will persist. It will only get stronger in time. So if you resist certain things and it gets stronger and stronger, guess what's happening? You're ignoring it. It means it's going to intensify, and eventually you're going to end up doing something stupid if you don't handle that business. I'm not saying in all cases, but it may lead you to do something stupid or absurd where you could have handled it easily and said, okay, I'll give you one slice. All right? My spirit, I'm going to give you one slice, whatever it is. But I want something in return for this damn slice. Those who work necromancy or work with spirits, they know what I'm talking about. There is always a price to pay for things. There is always a consequence, whether it's beneficial or harmful. There is a consequence or a payment for everything you do. You may not realize that, but the further along you work on this path, you will see that. So this spirit, you got to feed it, feed it. But you are the God and you take control. So you say, I'm going to give you this, but this is what I want. After this, no more. It's your choice how you do these things, but keep in mind, always keep in mind, whatever you work on the left-hand path, whatever you work in the occult, you are the God. So if a spirit comes and they tricks the spirits to left and right, okay? Always remember, you are in control. You are the God. They need you more than you need them, okay? Always remember that fact. You are the God. You are in control. They need you more than you need them. Yeah, the name of the book is The Black Ship by Malthus. Get it. Do yourself a favor and get it. From what I know, Malthus actually belongs to the Temple of Set, or was in the Temple of Set at one time. So he deals a lot with a lot of left-hand path work, left-hand path work, a lot of Setian work. So get it. It's beneficial to get that. You can use that one, but personalize it. What I mean is the demonic ritual that is there in that book, you can use that, but personalize it. Put your stamp on it. Put your twist to it. Change it up. You could almost change it up completely to the point that it starts from a template and becomes something totally new once you put your creative energy there. But always personalize it. Shy Gemini, what about detachment? Okay, are you referring to detaching yourself from things? Because I'll explain this. Let me say this. On the left-hand path, it's about mastering this physical life. It's about indulging in this physical life. Okay? It's about going deep into this physical life to understand it in every facet possible. Okay? It's not really in the left-hand path. We really don't deal with detachment and detaching yourself from things. It's about challenging yourself. So in other words, you have a lot of attachments in your life. Instead of detaching it like many do in the right-hand path, you go deeper into that attachment to understand it, to understand where your attachment comes from. Your attachment can come from abandonment issues from childhood, where you felt abandoned. So anything that comes into your life that you feel is good or beneficial, whatever the case is, you have a habit or a problem of attaching yourself to it too strongly, okay? And losing yourself or your identity in the process. So in the left-hand path, what we do is we confront that abandonment issue to understand our attachment issue, which then makes it easier to understand the difference between attaching to things and detaching. In the left-hand path, it's easier to detach when you understand where the attachment came from in the first place. I hope that makes sense, or I hope that answers some of what you're asking. But that's how we look at detachment. Okay, Taylor Gang, that's correct. Magic is simple. What do you want? It's as simple as that. What do you want? And then you work your magic. You work your steps to make it happen. That's true, Andre Polk. If you have no desire, you might as well go back to religion. Midnight, love. Okay, y'all must be somewhere in Europe or somewhere where the time is definitely different than East Coast time. Okay, Stubby Show. Why all you get from your magic is a lot of synchronicity? Well, synchronicity can happen because you may not be paying attention to certain things. So when you're working your magic, you may be missing the symbols or certain things that you may be missing. But if you remember these 5 steps we went over earlier, these 5 keys to sorcerer magic, it will help you get more results. Synchronicity will still occur here and there, but you'll get more results of what you want. A lot of us may not be where we want to be. Okay, but we keep striving every day to get there. That's the key. Every day when you wake up, what do you strive for? What do you push for? What are you going for? If you don't have desires and goals and aspirations, you might as well just call it quits in this life. A lot of shit that you do is always going to line itself up. You got to remember something. Things line up because your true self is lining it up. The true will self or the demonic self or whatever you want to call it lines it up for you to either see it, and in many cases we miss it. But it's lining itself up because it's working from another realm of existence that is not readily here in the realm that we live in. Obia Lux, that's good. You find what works for you in your method. Obia Lux said, I usually just meditate 4 seconds, deep inhale, hold 1 second, exhale 6 seconds. Perfect. You created a system that works for you and gets you there. That's what's important. Create what it is. When I use these things, I'm using these books as references just to show you that it is being spoken about or talked about. In reality, I don't need to come from any books. Some of y'all who know me personally know I can build and talk about shit for hours about anything. Some of y'all who may be new may not know this. I've been walking the occult path since I was 18 years old. I'm now 47. Yeah, 47. I'm 47 years old, damn it. Okay? But I've been walking this since I was 18. I've had this nose ring since I was 18 years old. I've walked Islam, Judaism, Christism, Sufism, Shriner, Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Santeria, you name it. I've dealt with a lot of these things. I was part of Astara. I'm still a member of Astara. I just am not active anymore. I did all these things and still belong to certain societies or orders that I don't really speak about. There's much more I've dealt with. 5%ers, Nation of Islam. I've dealt with a lot of these things since I was a youngster. Okay? And all of that is to say that all of this led to a path of self-mastery learning to master yourself. And through all that which I walked, the comedicism, all of that, it led me to the left-hand path. The path of self-deification, self-actualization, self-development, self-mastery. All of this, you may not have heard of me before. Some of y'all knew, some have. But I started teaching in 1994. I was a part of the Nawapians. I was a part of all that shit. Okay, I've been a part of a lot of different organizations, a lot of different paths, learned from a lot of different people. Okay? Ultimately, it led me to realize that the power was always within myself to master the self, to utilize any information out there that could be extracted for my growth. Okay? And in 1994, when I started teaching the first time around, I sucked, I bombed royally. I promised myself that day forth, I would never bomb again. And I went deeper into more intense study, more intense traveling on all these paths. So that one day, it led me to this where I'm at today, which I've been in for years. I started really practicing magic intensely in 1998. And the first path of magic I worked was Kemetic magic or Egyptian magic. And after that, Santeria. And I went everywhere working and walking the magic path, leading me to today. Some of y'all have seen me and known me since DC. My brother Duma knows what I'm talking about because he was there in DC. He was there when I was first starting out really teaching. He's been around for years. He's known me, okay? Brother Benitez also walked many of these paths, and we've known each other for years too. So you may not have known me, but trust. The people who do know that this is years and years of information and studying and walking and traveling to get this knowledge and then present it to give you the key to master self. This is not about me sucking you dry for money, finances, things like that. I don't need none of that. That's why I really don't charge. And if I do charge, it's for my time, for me putting together a necromancy class, studying, putting that information together, practicing. I charge $10. If you want to donate more, that's all good. But I don't charge really for any of that stuff. I do charge for readings and consultations, but that's about it. But I rarely do those things. I don't do that stuff a lot as far as readings and consultations. My main goal has always been, and those who've been with me since day one, since I made these videos years back, know that my main goal is to give you the key that you already possess in your hand to master yourself even more than you already have, to be the God over yourself. And it makes me damn happy when I see y'all, some of y'all starting to make videos, when I see some of y'all starting to build with other people and break shit down and building your own stuff. It makes me damn happy. I do not want followers. I hate that even word, followers. I can't stand followers because that means you still sucking someone's shit. I want everybody who's watching or listening to this to stand on their own square, on their own 2 feet as the God over self and do to be the master over self and get your life in order. That's what makes me happy. That's how I feel is being paid back, is your success. I'm successful in my own right. I'm a real estate investor. I do not need money, y'all. You think I don't really charge for a lot of these things? I do not need money. I'm a real estate investor. Right now, I have rental properties. I have 5 of them, and I do wholesaling and flipping of houses. That's my shit. That's what I do for financial success. And all of y'all should be financially successful. We ain't about that bullshit that, on this path you need to be poor. You don't need physical attachments. Bullshit. If you are on the left-hand path in the God over self, you should be financially successful. Because there's certain things you're going to need financially to have to do certain work. And you know what I mean, certain people. Okay? That's the goal. It's not just what I'm going to talk about. Some of y'all privately, we will discuss business and how to do certain things in the business world. That's where my success comes from. That's why I don't tax people for shit. I genuinely care that my melanated people raise the F up to be the gods we are born to be. That's what it's about to me. Anyway, that's just another tangent for another day. Queen Z, that is 100%. Master that damn mind, because that everything comes from the mind. Remember, first principle of Tahuti is all is mind. Mind is all. The universe is mental. All is mental. Everything starts and ends with the mind. If your mind is weak, you will have weak results. If your mind is strong, you will have stronger results. You got to make your mind stronger, people. That's the key. Make your mind stronger. And how do you make your mind stronger? One of the ways is to confront your bullshit. If you have a lot of self-doubt and lack of confidence, you need to attack that, because your mind can only be as strong as your weaknesses. And those weaknesses will hold and wreak havoc on your life if you don't learn how to master it. Yes, you can do it sober, but it's great to be medicated. Allure Kush Goddess, boy, I tell you. That's right, bro. Musical sorcerer, I feel you 100%. You said it best. That's why I said that's what works for you. It works for you. If that's what you feel you want to do, you do it. Okay? You meditate, you drum or meditate, that's all good. You do shrooms, it's all good. It all depends on the individual. But like I said, comes a point, you're going to need to do that without any of that. So start when you can. That's all I say. But if you feel good, shroom it up. Take the F off. But like you said, a lot of people do this psychedelic stuff and they don't bring nothing back that is of any worth. They just get worse and space the fuck out and become a straight space cadet. I've seen that happen a lot too, and I'm sure you have too, musical sorcerer. People become a straight space cadet. Okay, music. Music is vibrations, tones, frequencies, things of that nature. Music can cause an altered state of consciousness. Like, for example, when you play the drum, you hear the drum rhythm is reaching a certain vibration. The vibration is starting to attack, or I should say connect and open up your chakras, loosely speaking, causing the Kundalini energy to rise, which then alters your state of consciousness, opens the portal or the gateway for spirits to communicate. That's one aspect of music. Music can also be used to poison and destroy your mind, depending on the vibration frequency, the tones, and the words or the vocal information being dispersed. So in your work, you can use music as well. Again, you should be able to do it without music, but if music enhances some of your rituals, by all means do it. Sometimes I use music. 90% of the time I don't have anything but myself, but I do use music at times. You can use music in your rituals and can enhance it. It makes it more profound because it helps alter your state of consciousness, open gateways, doorways to make contact with higher states of consciousness, entities, beings, spirits, things of that nature. So music is profound because music is the sound of creation. What do I mean by that? According to the Hindus or Indians, life was created by sound. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, the Hindus said that all life began from the sound of Om. And from there, everything came into existence. Now, if you understand sound can cause friction. It can cause vibrations, which causes antimatter to come into matter, to form physical existence. So sound, music is utterly important. This is why mantras are so powerful. This is why invocations are so powerful. In essence, in all this work, there's always the usage of sound. If you do mantras, let's say, if you do Om Namah Shivaya, let's say, you do the mantra for Shiva, it can actually cause a change in your mental programming. Okay? The vibrations and frequencies can cause a change, tap into the subconscious to the unconscious to shift your consciousness. So sound and music are of the utmost importance. And if you really feel connected to that, then you might want to start creating your own music to utilize in your rituals. Just a suggestion if you're really connected to that. Necro Cannon, peace. Good to see ya. Lord Kush got us. I'm sure you're spicy in every sense of the word. Demetrius Clark, you are welcome. These dirt mounds about to get dick down. It's true though. OBLX, I done seen it. There's documentaries on some of these tribes and some of the things they do. Yeah. Anyways, you gotta go find that documentary. Your eyes will just like bug out some of the stuff that's done. Musical sorcerer. Listen, I'm not arguing the point. In the shamanic or shamanic practices, that's always been used. Personally, like I said, I don't give a fuck if a shaman used it or not. Me personally, I'm not about tradition. And the left-hand path, we attack all of that stuff. So if you want to use it, you use it. That's what it comes down to. If you don't want to use it, you don't. It's all good. If you use it, it's all good. You're still gonna be my boy, my girl, whatever, because I can't see your agenda, but you still be my boy, my girl, because it's irrelevant to me. I wouldn't diss you or put you to the side or say, oh, I don't want nothing to do with musical sorcerer because they use psychedelics. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna just say, how was that trip? Or how was that travel? How was that journey? When you come back down, what's good? How was it? Let's build. That's what I'm about. I don't care. But you got to remember, this is a lecture, so I must speak across the board and state certain things that I feel from my journey and practices, things like nature. But trust, I understand that. In Puerto Rico, the Taínos, right, which is the indigenous tribe of Puerto Rico, which actually came from the Arawak, things of that nature, they used psychedelics. That I know because more research has proved these things. They have certain pipes that they use, put certain herbs in there that cause altered state of consciousness. So Keep working it. If it works for you, keep working. Oh, shit. Damn thing skipped again, yo. Sorry. Ah, damn. Okay, here we go. I wonder if they use lube, huh? Demetrius Clark, that's correct. Do that in Palo. The only reason I never went through Palo is because when I had certain readings, it was revealed to me that I walk with a lot of Congo spirits, and the spirits basically said I don't really need to go through Palo because they walk with me and work with me already. But if I do, it's all good, but I don't really have to. So it was just a choice on my own. But as you know, walking and experiencing and practicing that, there's a lot of BS that comes with that, and it's become very infected by financial gain. Queen Z, I agree 100%. The word family is sometimes overrated. Yes, they do. Faster than the Catholic Church, no doubt. Yep, kids are overrated too. I'm going to say that to people too. Kids are overrated too. Because we have a programming. Listen, y'all, we have a programming, especially in the especially in the melanated community. Our programming is you gotta have kids. Kids makes you better. Kids make you more wonderful. Kids this. Listen, goddamn it. Some of the kids in my family are straight freaking treacherous. All right. So listen, I feel y'all 100% on that. Family's overrated. Sometimes kids can be too. Now, if you have kids, you love them, you raise them the best you can, they'll be out on their own, and hopefully you did the best you can. But they're still going to make their own choices. That's just life. Caddick Scott, that's 100%. My dad, he did the same thing a lot of times where he rip into me. My dad was a Vietnam vet. I'm sure they did some experiments on him because he was sometimes he just wasn't right, man. That's all I can say. All right, so I did create, and one individual hit me up, so I'm gonna put this back out. I did create a Kali Moon ritual last night for anybody who's interested in that. It's powerful. I'm gonna see what that individual says after he practices it. Of course, I told him to personalize that as well. Don't just do it like the way it's there. But if anybody's interested in that, you hit me up at darkoccultist99 at outlook.com. I'll share that Kali ritual with y'all. But I want feedback. Let me know how it goes, how it works for you. That's what I want. Okay? That's what I want. It's feedback if I share this with you. And it's like I said, the Kali Moon ritual. It's basically working with the phases of the moon. You don't have to. And there's a note in there that says you don't have to, because a true sorcerer or sorceress doesn't need to work with the moon phases or the elements to make shit happen. But if you can, it can enhance it. All right. Yeah. Instagram became a spiritual panhandler or spiritual beggar society, because I can't tell you how many people I see on there. I'll do a love spell for you for $150. I'll do this spell for you and I'm looking at these people. I'm like, yo, really, dude? Y'all really don't care about these people as much as you say you do. You're just begging, basically, or just sucking them dry of finances that they may or may not have, instead of putting the key or using the key they have for them to do it themselves. Because what is more effective if you want a true love spell, let's say? What would be more effective? Me doing the ritual for you or you doing it for yourself? Of course, it's you doing it for yourself because you know where your love, interest, and passion lay at. I really am not vested in your love interest like that. So I really can't push the ritual as strong as you would. Keep that in mind when you work these rituals. If you go to somebody else and you got to pay them to do a ritual, are they really doing it for you or are they doing it for the money? Because if you come to me to do a love ritual, I'm going to say, I'm not doing it. I'm going to give you the tools to do it. Here's a ritual. Personalize that shit. Change it up. Make it yours and do it. Put the power back in people's hands to do their own work and stop sucking people dry as if they can't do it themselves. You're making them your slave. Anyways, it's another story. Thanks, Lord Kush Goddess. I try to stay looking great for 47. Taylor Gang, good question. I'm happy. Good question. Somebody finally asked that question. Ravana. Where does Ravana come from? All right. As I mentioned earlier, I traveled many different paths in the occult, and I studied heavily into Tantra or Tantrism. Of course, that led me to study certain aspects of the Vedic system, things of that nature. I was on Facebook back in the days, a few years back, and there was this Indian individual. He was actually Dravidic, okay, from India, southern India. And he reached out to me one day because he was checking out the postings on my page. So he messaged me one day, and he said, "Brother, I like how you use the name Ravana." I said, "Cool, thank you for that." He said, "But let me explain to you why. Because Ravana is given a bad name. He's represented as a demon in the Hindu system. But he's really not a demon. He became demonized because the Aryans who came into India demonized him because he was against them. And the reason why Ravana was against the Aryans was because the Aryans came in and brainwashed the darker peoples of India and whitewashed everything and lightened up all of the deities or archetypes. He said Ravana was against that. And what his purpose was to smash the Aryans and their brainwashing and their whitewashing and give the power back to the people to be the gods themselves. So after that discussion, I said, I'm going to keep the name. But what originally made me keep the name was I have a Kemetic name. I've been into Kemetic since 1989. That's when I really started studying Kemetic. At the same time, that's when I got into Islam Sufism, because that's what I'm about, and the chaos beings and the eternal beings that we are. Okay? Binaural beats and things of that. Especially when I do subconscious swimming, I put my headphones on, the Amazon Orinco Rivian, and pop turning it up through the. All right. Anyways, this thing got stuck for a second. This connection got freaking dumb. It wasn't Taino. I think it might have been connected to the Arawak, but they went by a different name. And it is difficult to find that. There's a lot of that information out, but you can check it out. Yep. You found the Meditation Satan on YouTube and listen to headphones while you do this meditation. But meditation, I see some of y'all might have gotten kicked out because this connection got loosey-goosey on me. So sorry if you did, but I can't control that. That's their issue. There's the link to Meditation Satan. Meditation Satan put there by Brother Wacky J 2012. So check it out, y'all. This thing is acting flaky. All right. All right. Some of y'all still here? Because I know this thing was rebooting and restarting itself. Some of y'all still here? Give a thumbs up. Yeah, that happened. I almost lost it altogether here too, y'all. So I know this thing tripping, y'all. All right, cool. Y'all back. Y'all back. So what I'm gonna do? I caught up with all the statements and questions and comments. Anybody else have any questions while we're here? Anybody else have any questions while we're here? All back live and direct. Ask any questions you would like about discussion or about the discussion tonight, or just anything in general about any of the videos you've watched or anything like that. I'm gonna take some questions before we wrap this up. So start asking if you have any questions. Any questions? Bring it, bring it. Queen Z, is Kali the same as Lilith? No and yes. They come from two different cultures. Lilith is associated more with the Hebrew culture, and Kali is associated more with the Dravidian or Indian culture. However, their symbolism, their characteristics, and their attributes are very similar to each other. Kali is considered a vampiric queen. She went on a rampage of bloodlust and destroyed the demons as well as some of the gods. Lilith is also considered a mother of the vampire, or queen of the vampire, for her nature for devouring and absorbing energy, sexual energy, particularly from humans. Kali is considered to be a sexual goddess in the founding of Tantra. Okay. Lilith is considered to be a sexual goddess. So there's very similar traits there, but they're from two different cultures, so there is little different variations as well. Okay, but they are similar to each other, so keep that in mind. I work with Lilith a lot as well, and I have a Lilith ritual that's powerful for anybody who wants that. Hit me up. darkoccultist99 at outlook.com. It's a strong ritual, so if you got some strong sexual energy or sexual desires, that's the ritual you need. The people I've shared it with, it's been on and popping for them. It worked quick, fast, in a hurry. All right, black quartz. Yes, I'm gonna give you this. Okay. For astral projection, I'm gonna give you a simple one. When you're laying in your bed with the lights off, visualize your spirit leaving your body. Focus on seeing your body leaving. Your spirit leaving your body. Okay, and then use an affirmation. I will astral project. I am astral projecting. Sorry, not the will. I am astral projecting. I am astral projecting. Say it 9 to 19 times as you drift off to sleep, while at the same time you're imagining yourself, your spirit leaving your body. Try that. If that doesn't work, then hit me up. And I'll give you some other work that you could do to bring that about. But just try that, because sometimes it's the simplest things that get the job done than the more difficult things or more of the detailed things that people give out there. It's sometimes very simple to astral project more than what we're told or given. Just try that. All right, before we get disconnected, because this thing I can see is still acting really saucy tonight. Look at this. Not even letting me type. Okay. All right. I'm going to put my email address on here, because this is acting real slow again. All right, let's see. Matt's son. Okay, the Orishas, listen, on the left-hand path, you could use any system you want and extract anything you want from any system. It's not a traditional path where you have to just stick to this and do it like this. So yes, you can use the Orisha on the left-hand path for whatever the work is. Here's a perfect example. Let's say that you need more aggressive masculine energy for a certain task or something you're trying to accomplish in your life. In your workings to bring about that result for the change in the result that you're trying to accomplish, you can utilize their symbolism, their attributes, characteristics, and embody that. The difference is on the left-hand path, when you invoke Shango, you're not invoking Shango to worship. You're invoking Shango to embody Shango and become and be Shango. That's the difference. So that's what you do. That's one way you can work with the Orisha. So try that. Pick a Orisha that you resonate with for whatever workings you're trying to accomplish. Utilize the symbolism, utilize these things, create your own personal ritual with that to see if you get results. Okay. Are you saying the Khatum realm or the quantum realm? Because Tarak, so is it the quantum realm or the Quatum realm? Andre Polk, hit me up for the business consultation. I'm always willing to share what I know about business. Anyways, this thing is moving slow again. So Tarak, if you're saying quantum realm, yes, I do know about it. But if you're saying Quatum realm, Never heard of it. I'd have to be honest and not make some shit up, or moose as I call it. Okay, quantum realm, yes. I do know about the quantum realm. And as a matter of fact, right, we will be having I will be doing a lecture probably in 3 weeks on quantum sorcery or magic and how to actually use the quantum realm utilizing magic or sorcery. So stay tuned for that because we will go deep into that and discuss that part. Lux, yes. Let me answer this before we get disconnected because it's acting funny again. When you do use your animalistic spirit to travel the astral realm as a vampire in a predatory sense, you will experience those animalistic traits for some time afterwards. And it can resonate longer with you or shorter depending. It can vary depending on ritual, depending on the astral projection. So keep that in mind. Okay? But it seems like we're going to get disconnected soon. Mine is going really slow here, so I don't want to continue this and then not be able to finish answering questions. So my email address is up here. Dark Occult is 9. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, want the Kali ritual, Lilith ritual, hit me up at darkoccultist99@outlook.com, as well as check out my website, Serpent Crystals, Serpent Crystals.com. All right, check me out there, serpentcrystals.com. There's books, there's oils, there's herbs, there's stuff to do with vampire magic. There's vampire oil that you need if you're going to do work vampire magic. Check out my website, serpentcrystals.com. Next week, we will have another lecture